like the arts a lot, so one thing that I have incorporated into the entirety of my speech is a back and forth where whenever I say something, hopefully you guys will repeat something back. So in this speech about identity, I will be asking the question, "Who am I?" And whenever I ask that question, just if you're able to, repeat that back.
In church, we call that call and response.
Yes.
Who am I? And we say what?
Yeah, like
Who am I? You just repeat it back to me.
an
Who
example.
am I? Who am I? Okay.
I think you should do an example.
Who am I?
Who am I?
Am I an adolescent Homo sapien seeking to be known by others? Am I a seed who wishes to grow, to burst from the earth? Who am I?
Who am I?
In this current day and age, identity is incredibly important. It is what separates and connects us with one another. As time passes on and newer generations are born, we come to think about who we are more and more, which is what I think makes the human race unique. Our identities. We have always had identities, and as time goes on, we have realized new ways to identify ourselves. But this amazing form of self-discovery develops, and more people grow hateful of it, saying it's not natural or it's wrong. But to deny someone their identity is, in my opinion, the same as denying somebody their humanity. Who am I?
Who am I?
Am I a gust of wind, free to travel wherever I please? Or am I a stream, fluid, yet stuck in one direct motion? Who am I?
Who am I?
My name is Ethan Anderson, and much like everyone else, I also have an identity. Like experiences, identities are all different no matter how similar they are. And it is something that we cannot deny people. Take me, for example. My identity has its complexities. I have traveled to very few places, but I have seen very much. I am the people, I am the places, I am the smiles, the frowns. Who am I?
Who am I?
My father doesn't define me. My mother doesn't. America doesn't define me. Jamaica doesn't. The universe does not define me. I define myself, my life, my identity. So, if I am the only one who can define myself, then why can others define you? Who am I?
Who am I?
I am a boy who wants to live in a world where people are free to identify themselves and freely define who they are, free to love who they love, free to be who they are. And for those who struggle to understand this or that form of identity, just remember that people accept who you are. People may or may not love you, but even so, they accept your identity. So why not accept theirs? To get mad at something that has no negative impact or effect on your day-to-day life is just a waste of time. Now, I know it's hard to understand these newly discovered identities, because I also had to learn them. But then again, who am I?
Who am I?
Sure, I've told you my name, but identity stretches much further than that. I know that because I had to learn it. So let me tell you how my learning began. I was quite young when I first realized that I was a minority. And it wasn't hard to notice. My skin was darker than most of the boys and girls at school, and at first I thought nothing of it. But over time, it became clear that some kids didn't like me because of it. They would steal from me, make fun of me, they would prod at my tan complexion. There was even a time where some kids would draw on me with black pens and markers. "Don't worry, it blends in," they would say. Or, "What's wrong? It's black, just like you." My skin, my being, my entire existence was being looked down upon by kids who were just like me. Well, almost like me. Because no matter how similar we were, I was black and they weren't. My friends would say I'm not white enough. And kids more like me in complexion would say I'm not black enough. Being stuck in this uncomfortable mid-ground made me wonder, who am I?
Who
Who am I?
I didn't know who I was for quite some time. I was lost and depressed. And then something happened. Something bad. My father came to my school. A man who had nothing to do with my life for years had come to me, found me. The man who was a mystery, and I was his target. Next thing I knew, I was living in the woods, secluded from almost everyone and everything. I lost friends for months, and when I had finally come back, we had to move again. I left everyone I knew because of one car pulling up at my school. The question spiraled through my head. Who am I?
Who am I?
What now? What do I do? Who am I?
Who
Who am
Who
I?
am I?
Who am I?
Lost and depressed again, I went to a new school and met the same kind of kids. But then I met Gabe. He went by Sophia then, but he was the first friend I made after the move. I never knew that there were people who didn't identify with the body that they had. I never came to realize the importance of being one with yourself. But then I did while spending time with Gabe. After realizing all of this, I became more optimistic of the future. I began to learn more about myself and began creating a culture for myself. Traveling through New Hampshire and learning. When we moved again, I was sad, but I felt light and prepared. That was because I was beginning to understand myself. It became easier to find my people. Making friends became easier, and I finally understood me. I can answer the question, who am I?
Who
Who am I?
And for the question you've all been asking me, my answer is, I don't know. You tell me.